I think trust and safety is a really big concern, especially where you're connecting strangers, meeting up in real life. This is also something quite expensive to solve. So curious about how you're going to address this.
We prioritize public venues like restaurants and cafes.
You mentioned that you'll partner with businesses as well. Like what is like benefit for them versus like how much are they paying you?
What makes this match special, right? How do you ensure this is a good match and you actually have retention for this?
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, and this is True Circle, helping adults make real connections with real people. After college, making friends becomes hard. It's really hard. 1 in 5 adults feel alone on a daily basis. We're more connected than ever, yet lonelier. Meet Jason. He has a good job and a nice apartment, but his evenings are quiet. No one to share the small moments that make life worth living. Then Jason tried True Circle. He walked into his local cafe, bracing for awkward small talk. Instead, he remembered what it feels like to belong. For the first time in ages, Jason laughed. He left knowing he'd found his circle. Introducing True Circle. True Circle creates intentional connections. We match adults and bring them together. Because in-person friendships shouldn't be this hard to find. So, what makes True Circle different? It's open to all adults, so no exclusivity. We match people into small groups of 3 to 5 to create a low-pressure feel. We use smart matching based on location and availability, and we keep it affordable. So how do you make moments like Jason at scale? Let's show you how it works. You create an account, verify it, and then you answer a few questions for a short survey. And then once you're done, you press Complete Survey. And then you enter your current location. And then you choose cafe or restaurant. You select your age preferences, what Saturday you want to meet, what time you want to meet, and the distance. And it's that easy. You can start chatting right away. This is how we'll make money. We're starting with free meetups to build a consumer base. And after that, we'll introduce a monetization model. We will partner with venues and charge 10% of what venues make per customer. Based on average costs, for casual dining, this is about $3 per customer, and for cafes, this is about $1.50. We're also finalizing a user subscription tier for $5 a month, offering RSVP priority, enhanced matching, and exclusive features. We've already seen the potential. With 0 paid advertising, we reached our first 24 active users organically. We also had 8 matches and 32 leads. Based on our research of the Bay Area, we expect to onboard 70 venues and 2,000 users in 6 months. And there's a real demand for this. 27% of young adults aged 19 to 29 experience chronic loneliness. We see a massive underserved market in real-world social connection.
True Circle is built to scale, starting locally, expanding city by city, and building authentic communities powered by tech. However, let's see who else is in this field. Unlike True Circle, our competition such as Meetup, Bumble BFF, and Time Left are invite-only, unorganized, expensive, and limited to big cities. Looking ahead, in the third quarter of 2025, we will implement Verif and Twilio into our web app to enhance security and verification. In the fourth quarter, we'll pursue targeted marketing and promotions within the Bay Area. In the first quarter of 2026, we'll begin partnering with cafes and restaurants to secure trusted, welcoming venues for our meetups. So to bring this vision to life, we need $80,000. 62.5% will be used on app development to improve features, scalability, and performance. 12.5% will be used on testing and marketing to improve awareness, increase users, and ensure a smooth, bug-free experience. 25% will be used on design and user experience to create a professional, intuitive interface that builds trust and keeps users engaged. We are a team of high schoolers who want to help adults grow their social circles. Our team strives to help adults meet others they are missing out on. For Jason, one small meetup changed everything. He finally felt seen. He belonged. And there are millions more like him. They deserve what Jason found. They deserve to feel valued. They deserve their circle. We have an affordable model for both users and businesses. We're also creating small, safe, in-person meetups for adults who want to meet new people. Thank you. And let's build real connections, one circle at a time.
With any sort of community, especially where you're connecting strangers, meeting up in real life, changing information, I think trust and safety is a really big concern. Kind of curious how you plan to address this. And then, this is also something quite expensive to solve. So curious about how you're going to address this and do you mitigate risks here and then how you're going to address this as your platform scales.
Yeah, so we consider this safe because we prioritize public venues like restaurants and cafes. And additionally, we are currently implementing Verif, which is something that you can use to view users like personal like documentations like ID so we can verify them before they can use our app. And Twilio will allow us to verify their phone numbers so we can also make sure that no one is creating false accounts. And additionally, all of the user data is encrypted, so our like meetups will not be taken advantage of, and the information is safe within our databases.
And in the future, we plan to implement a trust meter, and people can add to their meter when they do more trustworthy things, such as verifying their email and their phone number.
I have a question about how you're making money. So I guess one revenue stream is from the user themselves who have to pay for this, and then you mentioned that you'll partner with businesses as well. Are you charging the businesses to like opt in to this program? Or like what is like benefit for them versus like how much are they paying you?
Yeah, so we are sending users to the venues and restaurants, so that's how we will be helping them. And currently, businesses like Uber Eats charge about 15% per delivery. So we think that 10% per customer would be a reasonable price for these venues. And yeah, that's
And also, we will help to new businesses attract and give traction to new customers. So people who will have meetings, they will meet in new restaurants and know about this restaurant too.
I see. So will you so the users can only kind of be able to visit a certain list of venues that have opted into this app?
Yeah, so we have a Google Maps integration where they can find local restaurants and cafes, and they can join whichever one that they want.
Okay, so it's they can join basically any venue, not just the ones that opt into True Circle.
so right now, like our venues we have unlimited venues, but once we gather enough customers and users, we'll then be able to partner with venues because they'll see the potential users that we can bring them. So once we get those venues on board with us, then we'll be only limiting the options to those venues.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Great. Any final questions?
I have one more. I think this is kind of parallel for any sort of matching apps, especially dating apps. The algorithm and what's behind that is really important. How are you? I guess what makes this match special, right? Are you using interest or what sets you apart? I think for your competitors, right? People are like, let's just use Meetup. People are opting into kind of a shared experience, but I saw the quick demo and the onboarding, and it seems kind of high level. Like, how do you ensure this is a good match and you actually have retention for this?
So, our first priority is that they live close to each other, and the second is that they want to meet up at the same restaurant at the same time. And the third, we will match them with similar personality traits so that they can get along.
So when users sign up, we have a quick survey that they fill out, and our matching system is all like entirely logic based. So based on the inputs of users and like what restaurants they want to visit, their personality, what kind of music they like. We will try to match users based on those. And it's a minimum of like one of those three questions on the survey must be similar as a minimum, but our algorithm will try to match them with like more than one of those if possible, but there's a minimum of one.
And then is there a way for users to give feedback and kind of input into the algorithm if that actually was a successful match? Yeah, I guess it's like, how do you know that it was a good match or a bad match, and then continue to fine tune the preferences in your product?
That's not something we have at the moment, but we can definitely get that in as soon as possible.
Great. Thank you very much, True Circle. And thank you, judges.